It's not often that an Austinite writes a full-fledged symphony, and it's especially rare when that composer never had a single composition or music theory class in his life. All new at 6, KXAN's Jim Swift brings us the remarkable story of a brand new symphony called The Curse, the Cross, and the Lion.
Band leader Nathan Felix never thought of himself as a classical musician. But in his Noise Revival Orchestra band, he did surround himself with people who had that background. And after listening to and being calmed by classical music during a long, hard road trip, he started listening to it routinely, even with his then 7-year-old son, Revolution, in the car with him.
One day, something came on, and my son, he was in the back, and he said, "That's cool." He's like, "I like that." And I was like, "Whoa." I was like, "I always keep this music on, but I didn't really think you paid attention." And I was like, "You like that?" He's like, "Yeah, I like it." He's like, "Why don't you do something like that?" And I was like, "Well, that's it's a full symphony. I can't do that." And he's like, "Well, why not?" And instead of trying to explain it to him, I thought to myself, well, yeah, why not?
So Felix started pestering his friends with questions. Lots of questions.
I would start out by humming. When I started working with orchestral players and stuff, I would hum it and they'd say, "Play it like this." And then they'd play it. I'd say, "No, that's wrong." I was like, "Play it like this." And I kind of, or whatever. So it started off like that, where they would have to memorize based off what I heard. And eventually they got really annoyed by it. And they said, "Dude, you're going to have to learn how to write." I said, "Well, how?" And they're like, "Well, okay, come here. Come over to my house at 3, tomorrow, and I'll give you the basic lessons."
Along the way, Felix went well beyond just writing a new symphony and started looking for ways to make it, and classical music in general, more accessible to people like children, for example. To that end, he took characters from the symphony and turned them into action figures.
But grown-ups, too, were impressed, and an orchestra in New York agreed to record the piece. Normal snags were nerve-wracking, but the finished product amazed even Felix.
It was special, and I choked up, and I looked around at all the people that were there, and my friends that came, and people that helped me, and I thought, like, wow, how did this happen? I'm so thankful, I'm so humble, I'm so grateful.
Felix expects the recording and a documentary film about the process to come out later this year. And over the summer, he will travel to Bulgaria for an emerging composer program. Not bad for a University of Texas graduate in advertising. Jim Swift, KXAN News.
He set his mind to it. Well, if you would like to keep up with developments in the progress of The Curse, the Cross, and the Lion, or even contribute to a crowdsourced funding drive to help Nathan Felix get to Bulgaria, we have the links for you on our website right now. Just click on this story in the Austin News section at KXAN.com.